Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options in Play video update. As we get closer to some big events this week and we're inching towards earnings season, one of the things that I find myself doing more frequently is playing like straddles or strangles, right? So volatility strategies. Just looking for big movement, not necessarily betting on a specific direction, right? So it's more about just looking for setups where the options can move more than what's priced in. Um, Now, the thing with those setups um, is that for the most part, I want to be relatively balanced between the bull and the bear side. Um, There'll be instances where maybe sometimes I want to I'll be a little bit heavier on the bull side or a little bit heavier on the bear side, but more often than not, it's for me, it's more about being like balanced. So like the risk, 50-50, so 50% on the upside, 50% on the downside. So obviously, when it when it comes when it comes down to it, I mean, if we're in a volatile tape, you really have to wait until you know like the last possible minute to get involved, right? Because if you get involved too early, you run the risk of the stock having, in this case, the Qs having like a big move, and then all of a sudden, your position gets totally skewed in favor of one side or the other, right? So, for instance, like I've really been closely following the Qs because I wanted to get some shorter term options on the Qs for the CPI reading, right? The last four CPIs have been really significant catalysts for the overall market. So coming into the week, like I knew it was on my radar. I wanted to get shorter term options versus like the ones I'm in right now, which are November. I wanted to do options maybe like a week out or somewhere around that time frame. The problem is I just have to keep waiting because if I'd gotten into them last week, then all of a sudden you got this big whoosh lower following the jobs report, and then if I was say like 10 to 15 points out of the money when the option when the Qs were trading at 280, then all of a sudden like one side is deep in the money and one side's way out of the money, and your trade has gone from a 50-50 balance risk to reward on the bull and bear sides. All of a sudden like 85 to 90% of the risk is on the downside, and only like 5 to 10% or 15 to 10 to 15% is on the upside, right? Because your calls are way out of the money and your puts are deep in the money. So that's why like when I'm starting to look ahead to like earnings and some of these events, like a name like Netflix, like as much as like I may want to get involved early, right? Because it's something like I'm eyeing. Like really, what it comes down to is just being patient. Like I have to be patient because I don't want to get into all these contracts early just to watch the stock or the ETF have like a big move and like totally throw my trade out of whack. So, while it's like kind of frustrating to like not be super active, I do feel like things will change really quickly, and before you know it, we're going to be in the earnings and things will be flying around. So it's just about being patient and waiting and really like lining up those straddles and strangles, closer to like the big events. So whether that's the CPI this week or earnings this week or earnings the next few weeks, to me it really comes down to like waiting and really trying to get that risk reward fairly balanced. All right. Um, so, if you like this video and you're looking for more information about trading events with options, please follow up the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Have a great night, stay well, and we'll talk to you all tomorrow.